Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am Pastor CJ Kent, and this is EVE Online, or it will be as soon as it loads up here. Oh, gotta love those slow loading things. Okay, it's up on my screen. I just need it to come through the streaming software here. It should do so here shortly. Yep, there we go. So, tonight we are working on Winter Nexus. Let's go ahead and pull up the reward track. Basically, I said in the thing that I want to win this, and I do. I want to get to the very end of this challenge, which is at 1,350 points. We're at 225 so far. Managed to earn 3 of the rewards on the track, and we've got a bunch more to go. But yeah, there are some great rewards on here, including, if you finish the whole thing, a total of 100 plex, which combined with the 200 I already have actually gets me a month of Omega if we can finish this before that sale ends. So yeah, I'm highly motivated to do this one, and there's a lot more opportunities for things to do than there was with the Crimson Harvest. We can do exploration, it's one of the options. We can do combat, it's one of the options, but we can also do ice mining. And the event was kind enough to give us an expert system to do exactly that. So that is actually what we're going to be doing today. It's probably the easiest repeatable thing to get points in the event. We've got ourselves an endurance. We'll go ahead and show off the fit here. It is 1 ice mining laser 1. Unfortunately, I don't give you the skills to do a level 2 one, but that is a-okay. Salvager, just in case we need it. I have the festival launcher here with the snowballs, because there was a challenge for that, but now it looks like we have to hit a storm lord with a snowball, and that requires going into a combat site, which I'm probably not going to be doing. So we can replace this with something else, eventually, if we want to. Obviously 3 of the ice harvester upgrades and just some shield boosters, a micro warp drive, survey scanner, and a couple of friction nozzle joints, so we can get in and out relatively quickly. But yeah, this thing, I used it a little bit earlier today, and it is actually a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get out there and start harvesting some ice and get going on this event. Now, if it stays the way it was, the system we are currently in is already the right conditions. Yep, and we have fading volatile ice fields right here. So let's go ahead and warp into there right away and get moving here. Gotta love that first undock lag. Jeez. There we go. There's something about the first undock. I don't know. It's very like stuttery, and then it decides to go. All right, so now we need to harvest 7 units of ice. So let's activate this gate and get in here and do exactly that. This thing can actually hold 19 units of ice, but we're just going to do what it requests for the thing and go from there. Also, you may have noticed, but we are actually raising money for Answers in Genesis as well. It's part of the fundraising initiative that Twitch is doing right now. They're a very cool biblical organization that studies the very beginning of the Bible and like uses science to prove the historical account that it's there. So very cool organization. Have followed them for a long time, have volunteered for them before, and am very happy to be fundraising for them now. But yeah, with the upgrades, okay, with the skills that the expert system gave us, which I think is, we have mining frigates 4 already on our own, because that's as high as we can train it, and that's, I think it gives us the 5th level of that. So it's like a 25%. Let me just pull up the info because why not? So yeah, mining frigate bonus, 5% reduction in ice harvesting duration, and this is per skill level. The expert system gives us level 5 on this. We technically only have 4, but for like the next 3.5 days we have 5. So that's a 25% reduction in the duration of ice harvesting lasers and other modules, but I think lasers is all you can fit on here. And then for the expedition frigate bonuses, I think they only gave us level 3 on the expedition frigate. So we're basically getting a 15% reduction in ice harvesting duration as a result of that. And then the roll bonus is another 50% reduction in ice harvesting duration. So there's a lot of ice harvesting duration reductions here. And then in addition to all of those, each of these is like a 9% reduction, I believe. Yeah, 9% reduction in the cycle time. And what that boils down to is that every minute and 9.2 seconds, we are getting 1,000 cubic meters of ice, which is basically 1 unit of this particular type. And it would take a lot longer if we didn't have all of those bonuses, so that is a very good thing that we have those, and we want to take as much advantage of that as possible, and thus we are out here. I really love the look of everything for the event. They've got all these like snowy particles and whatever, even though you're in space. It's kind of cool. And then the endurance in and of itself is already like a blue and white theme. It's like very cold, very glacial look to it. And yeah, I like it. The last time I was here, there was definitely a hostile NPC. So we have some drones in the drone bay. It can fly 3 at a time. It's not our usual 5, but it's more than enough to handle just the belt rats that pop up every now and again. And then we have the Salvager 1. I think if I was going to make a trip to Amar, which I'm not tonight, but if I was going to, I'd probably replace the festival launcher with a level 1 tractor beam. And that way, when I did kill belt rats, I could go ahead and pull those wrecks in and salvage them without ever having to move away from the ice that I'm harvesting. Let me actually switch to the hold so we can see how much we have. The actual cargo hold of this is not big enough to hold even 1 unit of this ice, so there's no point in moving it over or trying to save that space for anything else. It's 200 cubic meters, I think is what it said. Yeah, 200 cubic meters. Each unit of this is 1,000, like I said. So I guess I could put an MTU in here if I really wanted to do that. I do have one, but like it takes up so much room in the cargo hold. And yeah, I think I'd rather just have the tractor beam since I don't have another like great use for that slot. Like, if I was going to do ice harvesting in a wormhole or something, then that would be a probe launcher, no question. And this salvager would be replaced with the cloaking device, because this can fit a cloaking device and has a, like, reduced CPU penalties, and like you can move faster than normal sublight when you're cloaked. So that would definitely be the play. But yeah, just here in high sec, none of that's really necessary, and the expert system doesn't give you the cloaking skills anyway, which I have them trained, but without having Omega I don't have access to them. So there you go. But yeah, we also updated our follower goal. Instead of doing weekly goals, I've decided to do monthly goals. It makes a little bit more sense in my head, I think. And we moved the goalpost from the 70 that we were looking at to 80, because we had almost reached the 70. We're at like 69 right now. So if we can get even one more follower, we're officially there. But yeah, I figured it made sense to just go for 80 as the month goal. And we're not too far away. So if you're not currently following and you're liking the content, definitely hit that follow button so you can find us again. Alright, we're 2 units away from finishing the little subquest here. And once that's done, we'll just keep following the prompts. This loops, and eventually you have to harvest more ice to keep going on the quest. So that takes a little bit longer, but that's fine. We'll just keep going with it as it goes and try to get as many points as we can for this this event here. And of course, this is a Ask Me Anything kind of channel, so if you guys are not sure where to get started on the Winter Nexus stuff, or like how I got here, or how I got the skills to use this ship or the equipment on it, or basically any of that, feel free to ask, and I will do my best to get you pointed in the right direction. Now, as soon as this hits 7, we're going to stop the laser and then follow the prompts. I think it has us turn the 7 in to the ore processor here, or the ice processor, which is this right here, or faded volatile ice processor. Each site should have one of these ships, and you can exchange the event ice, because this isn't like super useful on the market, as far as I know. Like, it's not used in production or anything. I think if it has any value, it's literally just for this event. But yeah, you can exchange the ice that you mine, like 7 at a time, for salvage packages, I think it is. We'll see when we go get those. This one, or the one I was working for earlier, was doing green packages, and I'm not sure what the difference is. Okay, so we can stop the laser, claim our reward. That gives us 10 points. And then, yeah, loads of ice exchanged, 4. Okay, so it immediately defaults to that. So now, let's go ahead and keep mining. Like I said, this can hold. Here comes that belt rat I was talking about. This can actually hold 19 units of ice, and so I'll have to make a couple of trips, but I need to turn in 28 units of ice to complete this little side quest thing here. And of course, I am the only ship in the area, so this Sancha's Enslaver is definitely coming my way. I've got my drones out, so they should pretty much take that down as soon as it's in range. Now, I am still using my hobgoblins, which do thermal damage. It's probably not the play for this event, because these volatile ice storms reduce the amount of damage taken from sources dealing thermal damage. Also, you can overload your modules without them taking as much damage, which is nice. But yeah, ships get a 10% increase to their thermal resistances in the strong volatile ice storm systems. So just be aware of that if you're doing primarily or exclusively thermal damage, that your weapon systems won't be as effective in those particular systems, and maybe you want to switch to like explosive or EM or kinetic, or just whatever makes the most sense for your situation. But yeah, thankfully not a whole lot of combat has to take place for this part of the event. And just have my one laser mining as much ice as I can, as fast as I can. Now, I think you can put these on ventures, the ice mining lasers, but like it's going to be a much slower process just because you don't have all of the skill bonuses and roll bonuses that come with the endurance. The venture doesn't have like any ice mining bonuses at all, so you probably do 2 lasers because you have 2 turret hardpoints instead of 1. So that would technically double your speed, and then you could put in 2 of these ice harvester upgrades, and that would kind of like, that would be about as good as you could make it. So it's up to you. If it's worth popping the expert system or not for it.
The asteroid is depleted.
Okay, asteroid's depleted, so let's find the next closest one. And I think we do need to get a little closer to this guy. The range on this is 7,000 meters. Okay, so not too much closer. Right there is good. But yeah, it's just the expert system that allows you to fly the endurance. Yeah, I forgot the name of the ship for a second. Like, goodness. It is a timed thing, so it'll sit in your redeem queue for quite some time. I think most of the festival stuff is like the next 30 days or so. But after you claim it from the login rewards track, you have about 30 days to use it. So if you have plans to use it later on for something, then I guess you could save it and just use your venture, potentially. If you're like Omega and you already have the ice harvesting skills, but maybe not the skills to fly this ship. But yeah, if you're an alpha, like myself, the only way to get into this ship or use the ice harvesting lasers is either upgrading to Omega or using the expert system, or an expert system that grants you access to the skills necessary. I don't know if there's another one that does or not. I'm just, in case there is. All right. So far, so good. Not a ton of other ships in the area. It looks like most people are going after the combat sites. I know the exploration sites were also pretty hotly contested, which is why I've decided to do the ice mining as my primary path up the rewards track. I did some of the exploration content earlier in the week, and it was a lot of getting there like seconds after someone else, and not wanting to be a site stealer, to put it nicely. Leaving and trying to scan down another one before someone else got to it, but it's I don't know if people are just like super fast on the scan, or if it's just they were a few like 10-20 seconds ahead of me in the scanning process. But yeah, it's hard to get those. A lot of the times you'd be in the middle of scanning one down and it would literally just disappear off the map. You're like, okay, well that one's gone, and you'd have to move on to the next one. So if you're going that route to get your points, good luck to you guys. It is pretty dicey competition to get to those before the next person. And some people are super cutthroat. Like, I had one site where I was literally the first person in there, and I was pulling up to the can to hack it, and this dude literally jumps in front of me, and grabs it before I can get in range to do my my analyzer module. I'm like, that's not cool. It's just not right. So yeah, I guess I would encourage you to not be that person. If someone beats you to the site, like, let them have the site, just go scan down the next one. They spawn like crazy, like, you will find more. So it's okay. Move on to the next system if you have to, but like, don't be that person. Nobody likes that person. So, or you can do what I'm doing and do the ice mining. Honestly, I like the ice mining better anyway. It's uh pun's not intended, but it's pretty chill. I mean, I guess now that I realize that the pun is intended, but yeah. When I was going to say it initially, it wasn't intended. Alright, so technically we have our two loads, our first two loads that we can turn in to the ore processor. I want to keep going and actually fill this thing completely so the next bit of mining doesn't take quite as long to get to the two loads. But yeah, after we turn in the first 14 and come back out, once we get back up to 14, we'll go turn those in so we can progress this forward. But since it's 4 loads total, it doesn't really matter if we do 2 loads of 14 or 1 of 19 and 1 of like 9 in order to get the 4 loads total. Basically, yes. Ice. I'm currently locked onto a piece of faded volatile ice. That's what this is. There's all kinds of different types of ice in Eve, in particular for the event. There's 3 different types. I think the faded is like the lowest tier one, and then you can get higher tiers in low sec and null sec, but I don't need to do all that, so. No, you're good. No worries. Yeah, I would definitely make the reference if I had one, so there you go. I guess you could say this is Eve's Ice Age. I know, that one wasn't very good, but I tried. And there's no one on scan results now, nice. Alright, 3 more units to go. I'm gonna put the laser over a dark patch so I can actually see the progress on it. Yeah, something about the backgrounds in Eve, a lot of times they're like way bright, and you can't really tell where the cycle is on your modules because the background's like super duper bright. You gotta find a darker patch and hover the module over the darker patch so you can actually see where the progress is at. Yeah, see, like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cosmic signatures in a high sec system. That's crazy. Like, those are mostly event data sites. So, like I said, the more will spawn. If you don't get one, just move on to the next one. Yeah, standings decreased because your person attacked me and got themselves killed. Makes sense. Alright, as soon as that hits 19, we're going to start heading towards our ice processor. And go turn in the first couple loads of this stuff. And that way I can show you guys how all of that works, and you can see what exactly you get for that. It's nothing spectacular, so like that's not what the point of the event is. Basically that rewards track in the agency tab. The stuff on there is what you're really after. Yeah, there's different skin sequencing stuff. There's some decently large chunks of skill points, which is huge for me as an alpha up against that 5 million skill point training cap. Because that's one of the few ways I have to continue increasing my skills, is to get those skill point injections and apply them to whatever I'm wanting to do. And then of course there's the Plex. There's actually 100 Plex on the line for this event, so you can get yourself to the end of the track. If you can get about halfway, you get the first 25, and then at the very end of the track is the last 75 of that. So really good rewards for this event, I feel like. Definitely a positive move. It seems to have gotten a lot of people participating this year. I don't usually participate in this stuff, so I mean that tells you right there. Alright, let's head on over to our ore processor here. Once we're in about 12 kilometers, we'll hit the stop ship and turn off our thing. We come up on it pretty fast. And let's access. I did not know. So here you can trade in your faded volatile ice for these green salvage packages, and we're going to go ahead and do 2 since we have the ice for it. And then we're going to get right back out there and go grab some more. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, I don't really do the whole mining license thing. They're pretty much universally scams. No offense. And even the people who buy them still get ganked, so it's kind of pointless. Plus, I do like wormholing, so, like, as far as avoiding getting ganked, that's kind of like my bread and butter. If you can catch me, you deserve the kill. But that's the trick, isn't it? Yeah, just about 8 more faded volatile ice to go before we can turn in the last 2 loads and finish off that little quest there. Alright, about halfway there. I don't know, there's something nice about mining. Peaceful. There's the bounty for killing that one belt rat earlier. 10k. That's not terrible actually, but certainly not enough to live on. I completely forgot to turn on the music. What am I thinking? There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. Much better. Yeah, really just looking for friendly folks here, not any trolls or gankers or whatnot. So, I mean, I have my stream pretty well secured anyway. But there you go. Alright, just 3 more ice before we have enough to finish this little quest up. And we can turn that in. And then I think the whole thing resets. So once it does that, we'll dock up, unload our salvage packages, and then swing back around for a whole nother run. Alright, 2 to go. Much better with music. Sorry, I forgot to turn that on. It's there's definitely an element missing there. But we're good now. Chilling. Literally. Yeah, so if you guys are doing any mining, even in high sec, I would advise you to continue practicing all of the safety techniques that you would use in a wormhole, or that you use in low sec or null sec. Watch local, keep descanning, make sure people aren't coming your way that are no good, and keep your overview up so you can see when ships show up on grid. And if it's someone that you know should not be there, that is like definitely not up to any good, then get out of there. Nothing is worth, like, obviously you respawn, you can buy new ships and stuff, but like it's not worth it if you can avoid it. So yeah, watch your local, watch the descan, and get out of there if any trouble arises. You can always wait them out and come back, move systems, you know, anything that you need to do to make it work. But yeah, don't wait until they are on top of you and have you like locked down with warp disruptors and stuff to practice those safety practices. Just get out of there. Alright, let's approach this guy. Go turn these in. Alright, we're gonna do 2 of those. Yep. Okay, let's approach again. Just a little bit too far away. Gotta be within 2,500 meters in order to do that. Okay, those are exchanged. That finishes off this, so let's claim that reward. And it circles back to mining site entered. So now we can pop on over to
Warp drive active.
the base station, dock up, drop off our reward packages, peculiar icebound salvage. Interesting. We haven't gotten that before. I guess you just pick those up occasionally while you're mining. That's pretty cool. So we'll stack everything here. Alright, these are going into the item hanger. And real quick, we'll just pop this open. I'll kind of show you what we're looking at as far as the contents that these usually have. It's just like salvage components and overseer's effects that you can sell. I won't bother to open the other three because, you know, it's not that exciting. This, on the other hand, I'm very interested to see what this is. What do we got? 13th tier overseer's personal effects, okay. So a bit of the same kind of stuff, it looks like. Ooh. A booster. What does this one do? With Sanchez Nation to assist with their efforts to control the valuable resources found within the methylliminal volatile ice storms. Plus 20% afterburner speed boost. Base duration 2 hours. And this has an expiration date. But it's a good distance away. It's in February of next year. If you didn't know, the current year in Eve is YC 126. So there you go. But yeah, that's all. I can actually put the booster in my boosters container. Salvage and stuff we'll figure out later. And for now, let's undock and continue with our mining. So yeah, we'll basically just run that cycle over and over, accumulate as many event points as we can, and get as far down the rewards track as we possibly can. Excuse me. Okay, so that has that one completed. Let's go ahead and click that. Got some event points down. Now, harvest 7 units of ice. Go ahead and activate the gate and get into the event site. Also, so you know, these ice sites have ship restrictions in order to use the acceleration gate. And finding a way around the acceleration gate is actually considered an exploit by the devs, so there's a good chance that actually, let's approach this guy further from the warp in point, just as a safety precaution. No one should be warping into that area. Like I said, because of the ship restrictions, that means you harm, but just in case. They could always do a banana bomber if they really wanted to get in. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's a venture with gun turrets on it. And while it would not be the most effective combat vehicle ever, a small gang fleet of them versus you is probably going to be pretty effective, so just keep that in mind. Like I said, practice your safety stuff. Watch local, watch D-scan. Watch your overview, make sure no enemy ships are popping up. Have a place ready to go. So like, you guys can't see it on the overview because it's covered for safety reasons. which you got to see a little bit of why there earlier. But I have a station selected to warp to as my selected item. So while I'm harvesting ice, if something pops in, I can click dock and I warp out immediately. No worries. You might not have caught that one actually, because he wasn't like a by viewers thing. He was like an in-game troll, basically. They got these scammers in the game that will sell licenses to allow you to do activities you can just do anyway in their space, which it's high sec, it doesn't belong to them, so there you go. Yeah, so basically I've got the little chat cover right here and an overview cover over here, and then my camera covers up information too, and all of that would tell them what system I'm in. So they could technically come and like try to kill me without those pieces of information, and without me like opening my map or whatever. It'd be pretty hard to track me down, but they could try. And they might yet, so I'm just practicing my normal safety precautions, watching the D-scan, watching local, have a place to jump to if anyone warps into the system that I think has ill intentions, so it should be pretty good. Honestly, like, if it was a whole fleet, it might be worth it to them, but I don't think they're going to bother with one little ship. Unless they're doing like a principal thing, but like, I don't really have enough viewers for it to make much of a statement anyway, so. But yeah, I guess that's the inherent danger of streaming an MMO, is people can find you in the game while you're streaming and come after you. And probably will sometimes, but that's part of the fun, I guess, is trying to avoid all that. Which so far I've managed to decently successfully, so praying that trend continues. But if I get ganked, I guess that's just good content, right? Honestly, like, even if I wasn't streaming, stuff like that happens all the time. Especially in high sec. I think high sec's probably one of the more dangerous places that you can try to operate. And technically, like, yeah, they'll lose a ship if they gank you. But like, people think that they're safe in high sec, and it makes them stupid. They don't practice the safety stuff like they should, and yeah, there's really kind of a lot of ship losses in high sec all the time. Hello. welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I mean, hopefully good. But yeah, just kind of mining some ice for the Winter Nexus event and chit-chatting as we do so. Actually even switched up the music selection tonight since it's just kind of a chill vibes kind of activity, so there you go. Hopefully enjoyable. But glad you're here. And then obviously open to any questions. So if you're not sure about like things to do with the event or how to get started or where to find certain information, definitely happy to help with any of that. Or really just any general EVE or life questions. Open to pretty much anything, so that's good. Yeah, relaxing days are pretty much the best. I know a lot of people like long for excitement and stuff, but nah, less excitement is better in my book. Yard work. Okay, so I'm guessing you don't live in Florida. It's nighttime here. Although it'd be nice and cool, so I guess that'd be a benefit. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. Okay, we've got our 7 units, so we can claim this. And then we have to do our 4 loads to clear the next one, and then it'll loop all again. That should be good. Okay. I mean, that's fair. The most recent Crimson Harvest, like this Halloween's event, it's really the first event that I've actively participated in. So this is my second. And yeah, it can be a little dicey. Everyone's sort of competing for the same resources, so I get it. And the login bonuses are actually pretty good. West and south. Okay. I mean, that makes sense, actually. You should still have some daylight left in that direction, so. But yeah, as far as going Omega, it's definitely a great time to do it because they have the sales and stuff going on. Even if you're paying with Plex, it's less expensive right now if you get the starter kits than it would be if you just like paid for it outright. So yeah, if you're wanting to even try it, it's a good time for it. And of course, if you haven't used a referral link yet, mine should be below the feed there. Oh, got some rats. Nice. Let's get the drones out. They should pretty much take care of that on their own. I haven't checked the settings on these. Yeah, auto attack and focus fire. Focus fire is the big one. If you have enough daylight left to do yard work, I would say maybe... like West Texas or Arizona, maybe California. Or potentially Hawaii. That would be considerably further west and a little bit south, so that would kind of make sense. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, just throwing it out there in case anyone needs it. But yeah, I know there's not a lot of people that need the referral links still, so. Okay, rats are taken care of. We can pull drones back in. A little bit of excitement there. Gotta love that. Just the keys here. Alright, we've got 10 units so far. Once we get up to 19, we'll head over to the ice processor and drop off 14 of those. Hawaii, nice. Yeah, that's very cool. I've actually never made it out to Hawaii, so it's on the list of places I would like to make it to at some point. But yeah, I just have not made it over there yet. Everything I've seen, it looks absolutely gorgeous, so just a little jealous. Oh, of course you are. Okay. Next up, we've got this guy. Literally don't even have to move for this one, so that's perfect. And while we're sitting here... Aha! Some of the wrecks are close enough to grab stuff from. Just have to stay within 7,000 of the asteroids, so that's not too big a deal. Go ahead and do salvaging. I got the salvager so that I could use it as well. Yeah, I have heard that, so. I mean, Florida's expensive too. And I feel like it's a little bit less justifiable here. Still better than like deep up north or anything. But yeah, it's crazy expensive. My wife and I were actually watching a YouTube video today as like a special someone did about some companies turning like portions of abandoned malls into affordable housing, like really small studio style units. To me, it sounded pretty darn cool. And I might not be able to loot this one. But I should be able to salvage it. Yeah, I mean, it really does. I think we got places here that are like... Sorry, hold on. Like one-bedroom apartments that are like $1,200, $1,300 a month. Like, it's insane. I don't know anyone who could afford anything like that. I actually do like the tiny house thing, especially being a gamer. Like, most of what I do is digital anyway, so I don't need a lot of physical stuff. So just place to, you know, get clean, and place to cook, place to sleep, and pretty much good to go. Ah, you're good. Always important to talk to the kids when they call, so that's definitely going to take priority. Yep, we'll just keep mining some ice here. Now we have enough to turn in technically, and we could come back and mine another 14 and then do that. I prefer to just do the 19 and then come back and get the last 9 that we need to finish this guy out. Makes the second trip just that much faster by making the first one longer. So it's not any more efficient. I just prefer to do it that way. We're definitely making some progress here. Let me see. All right, we're up to 270. Like I said, we got to get 1350. And we don't have to get there tonight. The sooner the better. I'm honestly not sure how long this event goes for. So that would be something to double check on. Alright, I'm going to break my own rules here and actually look that up super quick. Okay. Alright, looks like it runs till the 4th of January, actually. So, yeah, definitely don't have to finish it tonight. But the quicker we can finish it, the better. I don't know how long the Omega deals will last. So, the sooner I can get my hands on that 100 Plex and get my first whole month of Omega, the better off we will be. And my thing is shrunk. There we go. Gotta make sure my my streaming software is up so I can actually see your guys' comments. Alright, looks like we got 3 more units, and then we'll be heading to the ice processor over here. Alright, 2 more units of ice to go. And I messed up my runaway selection here, so let's fix that. There we go. Yeah, it's just doing the ice mining for the event. It's a nice peaceful way to get your event points, I feel like. Sitting, chilling. Mining away. Alright, one more to go. I just finished cycling, so got just about a minute or so left and we'll be rolling here. Actually grab a drink while we're waiting. Alright, looks like that is almost done. We're right at about the limit for the ice though, so we're not going to start approaching until we officially have that unit. Just in case it moves us further away from the ice. Okay, there we go. And let's get our micro warp drive on there as well. Cover this distance lickety split. Yeah, I bet they have. Okay, let's access. We'll turn in 2. And let's head back out to this chunk, ice chunk over here. And close that. Alright, micro warp drive engaged. And there we go. Reset our escape point and right back to mining. But see, now the advantage of going ahead and doing the longer run to begin with is now I only have to mine 9 units instead of 14. And I know technically, like, I spent all that extra time mining on the first run instead of like it's an equal amount of time, but to me it feels like the better approach. I don't know, maybe that's weird. Actually, my first experience with ice mining prior to this event, I had never done any, whether it was event ice or any other kind of ice, so this is kind of cool. Pun not intended. I'm liking it though. I like all of the mining stuff though. I know it's not the most profitable career in EVE, but it's one of my favorites. Kind of making something out of nothing. I don't know, I find it engaging. Music's good too. It feels a little more tropical than like what we're doing, but I'll take it. It's kind of funny. A lot of the stuff I've been doing recently in the gaming sphere has been a lot more cold environments. So like obviously here we have the Winter Nexus going on, so like a lot of the systems have these ice sites and like ice storms, what have you. And then in Minecraft, the whole spawn chunks and like a huge amount of the surrounding area is all like snowy pine or spruce forest. So yeah, it's just interesting how those things kind of converge, it seems like. Just a curious coincidence, I guess. And then of course the weather has been cold for Florida, at least. Also, so yeah, there's no escaping the cold. It seems like. It's not to say that like Florida's super duper cold or anything. I think like at nighttime it's been getting down. Well, it gets low at night, but that's true of a lot of places. Probably like 40s or 50s at night, I think. I don't think we've had many nights colder than that. If we have, I didn't really notice. But the days are probably like... The good ones are around 50. The little bit warmer ones are like 60, 70 right now. It looks like we're going to be having a couple of the like 50 to 60 days coming up here, and then it's supposed to warm back up again, I think, is what I had heard. But yeah, I do not envy all you folks in the more northern regions getting like blizzards and sub-freezing temperatures. Sounds not fun, so my thoughts and prayers go out to you guys, and I hope that you have a warm place to sleep, at least. Maybe a nice warm bowl of soup for dinner, or with dinner. I know sometimes soup is not super substantial. But it goes nice with a sandwich or something. We just got a Panera, so soup and sandwich is kind of like on my mind a lot. We actually had salads and sandwiches from there for dinner. So yeah, Panera, if you want to sponsor me. I'm sure no one from Panera is watching, but if they are, off chance, I'd be down for a sponsorship deal. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Just doing some of the Winter Nexus ice mining, trying to crawl up that point track and finish it off before the end of the event. Hopefully well before. Truthfully, I'd like to finish it before the New Eden store sales end. Because if I get to the end of the track, I will have earned an extra 100 plex, which will be enough for me to get my first month of Omega. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'll probably be doing a lot of this in the coming days to try and work my way towards that as quickly as possible. Actually had one of the corporation mates finish the rewards track earlier today. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. I guess if you have the ships and stuff and you're doing the combat sites, like they just pop up all over the place. So if you can just run one after another, you can probably finish it pretty quick. But yeah, I'm still working on that part, so. But it gives me hope. It gives me hope that it's like possible. And to be fair, we're decent distance down the track already. Closing in on 300 points. And it's 1350, I think, to finish the whole thing. And like, truthfully, I haven't put that much effort into getting to 300, so it seems like it's very doable. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about how the event works, or like how to get started, or if you're like stuck on a step or whatever, happy to answer. Always also happy to answer general Eve questions if you have any, to the best of my ability. And of course, spirituality and life questions, also to the best of my ability, if you have any of those. So yeah, don't be shy. But otherwise, feel free to hang out. Just enjoy the stream. Really just trying to have a chill night, pun intended this time. Just got some kind of relaxing music in the background, and hey, maybe you're tuning in to have something to go to sleep to, and if that's you, then thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. I did try my hand at ASMR, so I get it. I was doing Minecraft for that though. Something about the block placement sounds. I would literally have nights where like I was falling asleep as I was like breaking blocks or placing blocks, which is not good. Not a good way to go about it. But I thought maybe if it's relaxing for me, it might be for other people too. No one seemed to be into it, but that's okay. It was worth a shot, right? Alright, we just need this last unit of ore. Not ore, ice. Sorry. I'm used to ore mining. Haven't gotten to do a lot of that lately, unfortunately, but...
The asteroid is depleted.
Oh, perfect timing. Good. So let's approach the ice processor here. Get that micro warp drive on. We can cover this distance nice and quick. We probably won't bother with the rats because we're going to be leaving here in a second. Alright, that should get us there. And we're going to exchange for 2 of these. Yup. I'm going to claim this. But I believe we have to enter again, so we'll be heading out to our station.
Active.
Yeah, adios, belt rats. See you later. I mean, they'll probably still be there when we come back, and that's fine.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, so we have a little bit of ammunition we picked up. Some metal scraps that we picked up. A module. And these scavenger packages, and now we can undock and head back out. And we'll begin again.
Warp drive active.
I love the little background radio sounds as you're undocking. Like stray chatter and whatever. Alright, so that gets that one completed. Let's go ahead and activate the gates. We need to harvest 7 more units of ice. Technically a fair amount more. So the first time you run this, it has you turn in 7 and you automatically get the reward from that first 7. After that, it's 4 loads, so like 28. So just be aware. Go ahead and launch our drones, and they'll just take care of those as we fly by. Yeah, they're already on them. Alright, how far are we from this rock we're approaching? Or, not rock, I guess. Chunk of ice. 25. Alright, let's pulse this once. Should be good to target it now. And if we stop, we'll definitely be in range. There we go. All right, we are set up. Extra Navy issue. Is someone actually running these the event combat sites in a cruiser? I mean, Navy issue's a solid cruiser for sure, but like, dang, that's kind of impressive. Well, maybe my RB wouldn't be totally screwed after all. But not the kind of thing I intend to risk if I don't have to. Actually, I'm interested to see where we're at on the agency track here. Okay, so once we turn this in, that'll be our 10 points, and we'll be able to claim Yule Festival booster crate. Nice. Yeah, we are getting there. And yeah, I know the mining way to get there is not the fastest necessarily. The mining as a profession is not like the fastest way to anything in Eve, which is why I do a lot of other stuff also. But yeah, it's still one of my favorite things to do. Don't ask me why. I just find it very enjoyable. So yeah, like, I know a lot of people would not be super enticed to pop an expert system and drop 50 million on a new ship and equipment to go use said expert system for only 4 days. For me, totally worth it. I have the money lying around, I'm not using it. and this is a kind of mining that I've never gotten to do, so like I'd really like to check it out. That was my thought process anyway. And here we are. We are in a Tech 2 mining ship, mining away on huge pieces of ice and working our way through an event as quick as we can in the 4 days we have access to. Realistically, what will probably end up happening is I'll get the lower tier starter pack. It's like 150 or 200 plex, something like that. And you still get 14 days of Omega as part of it, which is better than nothing. But yeah, it's still not the coveted 30 days that I've been after. So like, man, if I had 30 days of Omega, the things that I could do. Actually, I'm saving up my skill points right now from the login rewards and doing the daily stuff, which I think I finished those today. Yes, I did. And yeah, and from the rewards track for the event and all of that, just saving all of that up until I get Omega, so I can dump all of that into Omega skills that I literally cannot train right now. Things that will help me earn a lot more money and stay Omega once I'm there. That's the goal anyway. Someone's out there in their Chronos. No doubt taking on the combat sites. As for me, I'm fighting off these large ice chunks. They've invaded the system, and they are not welcome. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, aside from this, I've been doing a lot of Minecraft on the corporation's Minecraft server. It has been a lot of fun, basically redoing the spawn area, so it's a little bit more hospitable for people when they spawn in initially, or when they accidentally respawn there after dying and, you know, accidentally breaking their bed. So basically when I started, all of the spawn chunks were protected by server rules. So I couldn't break any blocks in those chunks, which was an interesting challenge. So I decided I would do the best that I could and just put a wall around spawn. So when you spawned in, it was like a little bit safer, and then you'd have the resources and stuff like in rooms inside the wall. That was my initial concept. And it went pretty well, actually. It got to a point though where like it was clear that a lot of the stuff in the spawn chunks was really going to be in the way for trying to do what I needed to do. So I got in touch with the server admin, and they gave me the rights to actually alter the blocks and stuff in the spawn chunks. So that's been taken care of. I took out all the trees, and I actually filled in the little bit of it that was water. And like I said, it's a frozen area, so it's actually ice. So you have to break the ice and like fill in the whole thing. It's been a project and a half. But now all of the spawn chunks are like actual spawnable dirt blocks. Or grass, I guess technically. So we can do paths, and like my idea was to sort of make a calming and peaceful spawn-in garden surrounded by walls on all sides, so it's nice and safe. Alright, so now we just gotta actually take the loads of ice to the processor. So we need to get to 19 here. And we'll turn in 2, and then we gotta get back to 14 after that. But yeah, so as I was working on it, I realized my initial idea of just doing the wall was like maybe not the best, because there's only so much room inside the wall to put things in. So I decided I would actually press the... So I do the interior wall. So from the spawn chunks, you would see the wall on all 4 sides. And it'd be like decorative and nice looking and whatever. But then on the outside, I would have the land basically press up against the back of the wall. But then I could like dig rooms and stuff into the land that would be larger than they would be if I just had the wall. And yeah, that's worked pretty well so far. I've got one side basically done up with that concept, and personally I think it looks awesome. Hopefully the other people on the server agree. I think they do. They keep contributing resources and everything, so definitely appreciate their help in all of that. Building up land, especially like when you just spawned in a few days ago, just getting enough blocks to fill in all of that, it's a lot, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. And yeah, so I had a bit of a think on it, and one side of the spawn chunks is basically on an ice river. Hey, welcome back. Hopefully a good conversation with the kiddo. Here we have a Drake. They're probably running combat sites too, actually, but... yeah, since the one side sits on the river, I thought maybe building the land up against it wouldn't make sense unless I did, like, ice. And I don't have access to Silk Touch or anything yet, so I decided to not do that, and I actually built an outer wall on that side, and I'll have the land pressed up against on the other 3 sides. I think that's going to look really cool. But yeah, it's been fun just putting all that together and coming up with ideas, and working with some of the other players on the server, and making that a reality. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I don't check my email as often as I probably should. I get so much spam email, and it's daunting. I know I should like start blocking the stuff that I don't want so I don't keep getting it, but like by the time I decide to go through it, there's so much that I just don't want to sit there and work through it all and block some stuff and like not block other stuff. So I just do like a mass delete, and then I ignore it for too long again and have to do the same thing. It's a it's a vicious circle, but that's my email process as it stands right now. Yeah, it really is. For a while I was doing the same thing with telemarketer calls. If something came up and said like spam or telemarketer or whatever, I would block the number. Like I'd go into my call log and block the number, and now I've just been rejecting them and not going back and blocking them, and I should be, because it helps fix that. But It's another one of those things.
Asteroid is
Oh.
depleted.
Notifications and yeah. I mean that's pretty much me, so I can't say much. But I'm sure it's frustrating for people on the other end, so as much as I can apologize for another person, like I'm sorry to the people on the other end of that process, because I'm sure it's frustrating. All right. 8 more units, and then we can go drop off a couple loads with the ice processor. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. I'd say at least I'm gonna give myself the benefit of the doubt and say 70-ish% of the time, if it's my wife, I will respond. The other 30% of the time, I pretty much have my ringer off 100% of the time. So like, the other 30% of the time, it's in my pocket, and I didn't hear it, and didn't feel it buzz. So I end up not responding, but it's not because like I'm just ignoring. It's because like I didn't know they tried to reach out. But yeah, I know it's something I gotta get better at. I'm not like the greatest communicator in the world, and I am aware of that. So I try to work on it when I can. Probably not as often as I should. But yeah, there you go. That's where that is. But yeah, if you're currently watching and you're on the other end of that process for me, like, I apologize. I do try to work on it, just not very often. Thankfully, no, I don't have any kids. I have 2 dogs and a cat, and none of them try to reach me on my cell phone, so for the most part, the people that are trying to get in touch with me don't need me that badly. So I guess in that sense, it's a little bit more tolerable or excusable. I think excusable is the word I'm looking for. Still probably not the best habit, but like I said, working on it. Slowly. But yeah, I think with the world as crazy as it is, and like prices for everything being what they are, we just never thought kids was a good idea. But we're pretty happy just being like my wife and I and our pets, so. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know a lot of people like want kids, and like I know that we would love our kids if we had kids, but yeah, we just decided to kind of not do that. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. I mean, I saw the email. It's in there. I was gonna come back to it and next time I went on there, but I think I may have accidentally deleted it. Accidentally on purpose. Probably. Yeah, that's fair. Bye. Alright, let's pull the drones back in. I'd be curious to know what's actually in that harvester. So my education is Christian Church of Christ. Basically like a very kind of part of the whole non-denominational side of things. So that's kind of where I land. Technically my ordination is Pentecostal, and there is a story there, but I don't tell it very often. And yeah, I don't really lean that way so much. So it's just funny that my ordination is that, but yeah, really just like the non-denominational thing. No, it's just it's really not like private or anything. I don't talk about it very often, but I used to work at a place that was like Pentecostal, and they had a TV preacher come in and like ordain anyone who wanted to be ordained. So I will retell it when the ad is done. I gotcha. Alright, 2 more units, and we can go drop off a couple loads of this ice. So I think the whole cycle is about 25 points, because I think you get... Oh, you get 15 for this one. So it's like 30 points. Okay, that's cool. Alright, welcome back. Sorry, I did start to go into the story and then you said the ad was there, so... But no, I used to work at a company that was associated with the Pentecostal church, and they had a TV preacher that they were associated with come in and do ordinations for anyone on the staff that wanted to be ordained. So I went ahead and signed up for that and got ordained by a fairly well-known TV preacher for a denomination that I'm not actually part of. But I am ordained. And then I also had the, before that, I had gotten a college degree, like I said, in the Christian Church of Christ side of things. So that's kind of where my knowledge and belief falls more in that direction. But yeah, it's kind of all over the place. The first church I went to that I got saved at was actually Southern Baptist. So like, I've done a little bit of everything. This ice looks like a ice giant hand or something. See, it's got like the thumb and then like the rest of the hand. That's kind of cool. I like it. Makes it seem like maybe there's an ice titan or something that someone killed and now we're harvesting what's left of it. Okay, looks like we are full up, so let's approach the ice processor here. Okay. That's quite the departure from the training, seems like. I'm guessing probably not the best of experiences in the Catholic and Jesuit education systems there, so I'm sorry to hear about that. But it's good that you kind of found a footing afterwards. Even if you didn't end up becoming a priest and all that. I feel like that would be hard, doing the whole priest thing. It seems like it would be challenging. And I'm saying that as someone who has like a bachelor's degree in all of that. So, yeah, I definitely understand maybe like deciding to not do that. The college professors at my college would actually frequently say, like, if you can imagine yourself doing anything else, do that instead, because it is just like a hard thing. So, no, I feel that. Yeah, to be honest, I really don't know that much about Buddhist philosophy. Just one of those areas I never really looked into. So I guess my main question for that is just like, what makes it seem appealing to you to follow, like, as a philosophy? I had a friend in high school who was the same way. Like, they didn't practice the Buddhist religion, but they like kind of followed the philosophy. So I was just curious. And I messed up my thing here, so let's fix that. That's better. Alright, and this time I only have to go to 14th, so that'll be a little bit easier. Implications of the philosophy, Noble truths, probably about the existence, origin, end of, and a way to end suffering. Okay. I mean, ending suffering definitely seems like something to be pursued for sure. Okay. That is, thank you for the layman's explanation of that. Yeah, Path of Enlightenment has such a vague connotation. But yes, Guide to Not Be a Jerk is very, very clear and much appreciated. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably need that. I won't say a majority of people. I feel like most people I run into are like good, decent people who are just trying to do their thing like everyone else. But yeah, there are some real unenlightened people out there. Yes, that is a fact. Very much a fact. Something I have said very frequently about people in my own religion, so yeah, I 100% get that. It's crazy to me that there are so many people who claim to follow a certain belief system, but like don't have fundamental foundational knowledge from their own like scriptures and like belief stuff. Like they don't know certain things, and it's like it's available to you, and technically if you believe this, you really should be knowledgeable about those things, to not like an expert necessarily, but to a certain degree. Like obviously in the Jewish tradition, one of the tenets is like learning the first 5 books of the Bible and really getting those down pat until like before you're 12. That's pretty hardcore. And like I know they don't all do that, but yeah, it's crazy to me how many people ignore that fundamental knowledge of something they profess to believe in. But yeah, I mean, that's just, people are crazy and inconsistent and sometimes unenlightened, so yeah, it's funny, I actually got one of my small group leaders with something probably a month and a half ago. Oh my goodness. Oh, those words did not want to come out right. But we were talking about a particular part of scripture, and I pointed out that there was another part that told us to obey the laws of the land and to not do so, at least insofar as the laws of the land agree with our own beliefs and stuff, would basically be a sin. But like, if you go to a Christian service, a lot of times they'll talk about like being pulled over for speeding and stuff like that, which like they're trying to make the sermon lighter and make themselves feel more relatable, but yeah, like technically that's a sin, because the Bible doesn't say that we have to speed to honor God. So you're breaking the rules for you, not for God. And yeah, it's he didn't know what to do with that. It was pretty entertaining, actually. Yeah, I know Islam's a hard one, because if you, the Quran has very specific beliefs, and like they're very like, if you're not with us, you're against us. If you read their scriptures, very like very like to the point. I know the large majority of them interpret those particular scriptures a little bit more loosely. So it's mostly the more radical sects that are taking those very seriously, and thankfully it's not the majority, because that would just be chaos. But yeah, it's like if you look at the core tenets of all the different religions, like some of them can peacefully cohabitate and some of them just really are not built for that, unfortunately. And it does suck, because like unity is kind of the goal. Like I think regardless of the religion, no one's, well, I can't say that either, because there have been. I think in the case of most religions, their gods are not looking for people to be at odds with each other, but yeah, it's nice to think that there's a way to make them all coexist, but I don't know that there is. Unfortunately. But yeah, I think if a lot of, like you said, if people were actually following their professed beliefs as closely as they should be, the world would be a much kinder, gentler place than it currently is. But I mean, that's the whole philosophical problem of evil thing. Like, people are just not cool a lot of the time, and you gotta kind of explain, or philosophy at least tries to explain, why that's the case and what we should do about it. Alright, and now mining site entered. So back to station, and we'll loop around and go again.
Warp drive active.
But yeah, obviously the religion I know the most about is Christianity. That's just what I've studied and what I've come to understand.
Docking request accepted.
And with that comes some inherent knowledge about Judaism, because, you know, they're pretty closely related, at least in their inception. Okay, and right back out. But yeah, as far as the other religions, I don't really know that much about them either, so.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was always the intent of the founding fathers, was to try and garner some sort of peaceful coexistence between everyone, and obviously to make sure that, you know, the state wasn't interfering with religious matters, and the religious institutions weren't interfering in matters of state. At least like in a direct, kind of inappropriate way. Like obviously, religious leaders are going to have influence over people that have the same beliefs. And you could influence the government process in that way if you so desired, and I think there's a place for that. But yeah, as far as like the kind of direct involvement that we saw in a lot of countries before America, I think is what they were trying to avoid. But like you said, it does protect not only the government but also the religious organizations in question as well. But yeah, I think like our country's certainly not perfect, but I think they've done a good job of avoiding a lot of the pitfalls we've seen in prior governmental systems. Like obviously they couldn't predict everything. And that's why we have a lot of the problems that we have now, but when it comes down to it, like even though we know what those problems are, there's still not like great answers to those issues. So they do the best they can. I do appreciate our government leaders and stuff for that, regardless of what party they're a part of or any of that stuff. Yeah, and I think, well, I know that the two-party system is not anything that was ever really intended. Honestly, I feel like it's more of a consequence of the backgrounds of the founding fathers and the people from those generations. Like they were just sort of used to this or that systems. And like technically we have more than two parties, but yeah, the third party groups really just don't get any traction when it comes to elections and policy making or anything really, unfortunately. Yeah, balancing that out would be a good thing. Yeah, it would be a very good thing. It'd certainly make election season a little bit more challenging to predict. Like, it's so entrenched now with the two parties. I honestly don't know how you would go about moving away from it at this point, which is really unfortunate because sometimes the options from those two parties, neither one are particularly good, which just kind of sucks for everyone, you know. Oh, I forgot to claim our agency reward. So let's claim that. It should go into, yeah, the redeem items window. Perfect. I'm kind of hoping we can at least get to here. This is for a Mastodon, which I do not have because I don't really fly Minotaur ships, but nothing against them really. I started Amar, so I fly mostly Amar ships. Right now I have 2 deviations from that. I have flown an Astero, which I guess is like half Amar, but half Galente. So I have some Galente frigate skills, so I could fly any of those if I wanted to. I don't own any currently. And then obviously the Metamorphosis. My exploration ship is not an Amar ship, but it doesn't belong to any of the major empires, so. And I guess technically I have a Sunesis for like quick trips to the trade hubs. Try and get there safely with outrageous amounts of cargo. Well, not outrageous amounts of cargo, but like excessive values of cargo. The last trip I took with it was like a 6 or 7 million ISK, or a 6 or 700 million ISK trip, which had me a little nervous. But yeah, it's got a sub 2-second align, so it's very, very hard to grab on a gate or anything. Yeah, essentially it's mostly just like basic salvage parts. The green boxes are the ones that you get in high sec, so they're not going to contain anything super duper valuable. These sites also spawn in low sec and null sec with more valuable versions of the ice, and I think if they give you different color packages, and they will have better quality salvage in them, is my understanding. But like, I'm not really after the salvage so much. I'm more in it for the event points, so I'm not super worried about the contents typically. But yeah, it's just like salvage components, mostly. There's been a couple things that weren't. The overseers crates. It also contains overseers crates that you just sell for cash, and I assume better ones come out of the low sec and null sec versions. So salvage is typically used to manufacture rigs. So the real basic salvage will make your Tech 1 rigs from the rig blueprints, and then the higher tier stuff will make your Tech 2 rigs, and some of it goes into Tech 3 destroyers and cruisers, yeah. Oh. Reached nerve, and like my whole arm went numb for a second. Gotta love that. Alright, let's claim this guy because we got our 7 units. So that's done, and now we got to bring 4 loads of ice to the ice processor. Now it's kind of the long haul portion where we just mine up as much ice as we possibly can. But yeah, definitely getting there. Yeah, I think with the time we have left tonight, we can definitely make this next whole thing here. We get about 30 points per run, so this next thing will get me to 345. and then one whole other run will get me to here. And we should definitely have time for a whole nother run. So yeah, we've made decent progress up the event reward track there tonight. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, you have the Mastodon one there. There's this one for the crane. I don't know if you do Caldari stuff, but that's there. Then there's the Nomad. I'm going to go ahead and admit I don't know what ship that is. And then there is the Nyx, which again, I'm not sure 100% what ship that is, so. Okay, so here are the things that I'm really after. Plex, skill points. What is this? I mean, that could be fun, but skill points, Plex. That's why I'm here. I mean, 25,000 skill points, that's a lot of skill points. 15,000, it's not nothing, so that's good too. And 25 and 75 Plex, that's actually pretty huge. Like, even if you didn't want to use them for their intended purpose of like getting yourself some Omega time or like sequencing skins or stuff, you could just sell them on the market. Right now they're valued at a little over 6 million each. So 6 million plus 100 zeros, and 600 million ISK is nothing to sneeze at. So yeah, it's really a decent prize finally. And the events are not always like that. Like the Crimson Harvest event, I actively participated, but I didn't feel like any of the rewards were really worth chasing that hard. These ones, like the skins, I'll give you.
Void is depleted.
And there's an ad, so you can't hear me. But for those watching after the fact, or those who do not see an ad right now, yeah, the skins aren't necessarily worth it necessarily if you're not into that kind of thing. Welcome back. Yeah, just saying the skins are not necessarily worth it if you're not into just decorating your ships for the sake of decorating your ships and making them look pretty. I've gotten more into it as I've played, but still like not super deep into it or anything. And the skin sequencing stuff is kind of a niche thing, so cool if you want to do that, but like otherwise, eh. But yeah, the skill points and the Plex are really, the skill points are a good prize, the Plex is a huge prize, so I'm actually pretty excited to be doing the event this year and trying to get a hold of stuff on the reward track there. It actually seems worth it. And like I said, comparing to the Crimson Harvest event that we just had like a month and a half ago or whatever, I don't feel like their reward track was anywhere near as enticing as this one. So yeah, for me, popping the expert system and dropping 50-ish million on a new ship and the equipment to go with it, to push a little harder and get more of the event loot. In this case, it's worth it. Like I said, the Plex is like 6 million-ish each, so like right now, so like 600 million is reward for completing the whole thing. Yeah, that's worth it. At least I feel like it. Yes, that is correct. Because of the New Eden store sales, the price has gone up on them a decent amount. I actually just bought like 100 right before the sale went live, so I got them at around like 5 something million each, which I feel pretty fortunate about because if I can finish this event, that actually gives me enough plex to get the silver starter package, which gives me a whole month of Omega. But yeah, if I had to buy the other 100, I can't currently afford that, so. Because yeah, the price jumped up a little bit there. That's the beauty of a player-driven economy. Right? So if you ever wanted to drop real world money on Plex and exchange them for in-game currency, now is a good time to do it because the Plex inflation is up a decent amount. Alright, so technically we have enough ice to do our 2 loads, but like we have done in the past, we're going to take it all the way to our full cargo hold of 19, so that second trip is a little bit shorter. Okay, sounds good. See you in a bit. Actually, that's a good reminder for me that I should probably drink some liquid also. And I say liquid because it is a mix of seltzer water and bottled water with one of the powder mix-ins for a little bit of extra flavor. They actually mix pretty good. Get our seltzer waters from Costco, just the 12-ounce cans. And we get our waters there too. The mix-ins come from Target usually. And I don't currently remember the name of them. True Life or Truvia or I don't know. It's supposed to be like all natural ingredients and stuff. We usually get like the strawberry lemonade ones, which seem to mix pretty well with lemon, lime, and grapefruit seltzer flavors, which is what comes in the pack from Costco. So it works. It definitely works. Quenches my thirst anyway. I won't say it's as good as like a soda, but it's close. It's close, and it's very satisfying. Sometimes I actually prefer this over soda. Thankfully I don't drink a lot of soda anymore. I used to drink a ton, like an unhealthy amount. Now it's maybe like on my worst weeks, maybe like 3 or 4 a week. But usually maybe like 2 at most a week, so. When I can get some, like when we have the when we can afford it, we'll grab boxes of Zevia from the store. It's a kind of like an all-natural soda company, so they make them without artificial sugars or dyes or any of that stuff. It's just like all natural ingredients, and oh my gosh, they taste so good. It's like drinking a real soda. And they're actually sugar-free. They use a different sweetener like Truvia, or it's not Splenda, it's something natural, stevia, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, they're really good. And they have like a root beer that's basically the same as most root beers. I know there's like specialty root beers that are like really, really good. And I'm not saying it's as good as those because that would be crazy. But for the most part, like a normal A&W or whatever, like it's pretty much spot on. Their cream soda is the same way. They have a grape soda that's really good. Their Dr. Pepper version, Dr. Zevia, is really good. So yeah, if you are trying to break away from sodas, like these things saved me from soda, because I was literally going to Wawa and getting their 44-ounce cup of the mellow yellow with like the extra flavors and everything, probably twice a day. And if you've ever read the nutrition facts on a bottle of Mountain Dew, which is basically what mellow yellow is, it's like 76 grams of sugar in a 20-ounce bottle. So I was consuming 4 times that much sugar in one day, every day. It was, like I said, it was an unhealthy level of soda. Thankfully, I don't have them that often. Like we'll stop at Taco Bell occasionally because it's my favorite fast food restaurant. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but it's my favorite, so just let me have it. And you know, you got to get the Baja Blast if you're stopping at Taco Bell. So yeah, maybe once or twice a week tops I'll get that, but pretty much not much soda besides that, thankfully. Yes, another Taco Bell lover. I love it. No, I started frequenting Taco Bell when they came out with the chalupas, and that tells you how old I am, or at least puts you in gives you a range bracket there. Yes, the gorditas are really good, and I'm happy they're back as well. What I would really love to see return though are the volcano tacos. I freaking loved the volcano tacos. Well, it's because I bounced off of it. Okay, let me get closer. All right, that's done. Let's find. Okay, so that was our first 2 loads. Got 2 more loads to go. Let's just get up onto this little chunk of ice here. And set my escape vectors up and all that, so that's there. And okay, we're back, we're up and running. Yeah, I feel that. I was when it comes to spice, I've always been that like stupid gringo that walks in and is like, "Give me your hottest sauce," and absolutely dies while eating it. But for some reason, I come back the next day and do it again. As I've gotten older, palate-wise, I can tolerate more spice because I've become accustomed to it. But digestive system-wise, I can tolerate a lot less. So thankfully, I'm not hitting like the absolute hottest sauces anymore. But yeah, when those volcano tacos came out, I was like, yes, I must have all of these. Oh, and they were so good. And the burritos too, like with the extra rice and stuff, like they were not only filling, but like the flavors of the sauce really came out because the rice and cheese and everything sort of toned it down. I wish they would just make it a permanent menu item. I went absolutely nuts on Taco Bell when those were out. So it's probably good that they don't have them currently. But yeah, if they brought them back, I would definitely be getting myself some of those. But I feel you on the Diablo sauce. I really don't feel like it's that hot. I have tried it, and yeah, it's got some kick to it, but it's not like life-alteringly spicy or anything. Alright, set this back up, because that first asteroid, the first ice block there only had like 1 unit of ice in it. So probably one that we were working on earlier and just left. That was all that was left, but... I'm sorry. I know, it's such a thing. Like, as soon as you hear someone talk about it, you're like, oh my gosh, why would you do it? But yeah, it's like, I try to eat pretty healthy, but that's like my one thing, you know? If I was stuck on a deserted island and I could only eat one thing for the rest of my life, probably Taco Bell. It's just so good. Not good for you, I'm sure. I can't imagine anything about it is really that healthy, but just so darn tasty. All right, anyway, I'll stop talking about it. I'm sorry. I'm making myself want to go now too, so maybe later in the week. Maybe later in the week. Who knows? But yeah, good times, good memories. Okay. Hacks can be dangerous. What kind are you proposing? Okay, so far so good. I will definitely be returning to Taco Bell at some point. Oh, okay, yes, 100%. I will do that pact. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to have to get a picture with my meal and post it on the Instagram account or something, like proof that I actually went. I've been doing their the $7 Lux Cravings box a lot lately. It's like a really good deal for the amount of food you get. So it'll probably be a picture of that, but yeah, I'm down. I shall not pass up an opportunity to commit to going to Taco Bell. Okay. Yeah, I haven't messed with the app much. When they rolled it out initially, I went ahead and got it. And I was like, I'm definitely going to start using this. I didn't use it. I didn't use it at all. And I should, because, like, there's perks and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I don't do a lot of the apps. For whatever reason, I just don't mess with them. I think the few that I have on my phone are like because they do birthday stuff and you have to have the app to show that it's your birthday. And you have to have it like at least a month before your birthday. Or it doesn't count or whatever, so I just leave them on there and have them for that, but yeah, I mean, if it makes her happy, why not? That's funny. You know, my wife is like the opposite of me. She will use food apps. She's like a pro food app user. It's pretty impressive. The big one we hit is probably Chipotle. And she'll do that. She'll be like, should I use some of my points for the kids' meal or should I save them up a couple more visits and get like a free burrito? And that's when I chime in and like, you gotta save them for the burrito. It's like a way better value. So. What? Oh, man. Like, I don't like. I'm not always in the mood for Chipotle. But sometimes it really hits. So. Man, that sucks. And they just fixed their portioning issues and stuff too, so. No more skinny burritos for the mobile order folks. Thankfully. I'm really surprised they're not out there yet. That's actually kind of shocking. Yeah. Yeah, they spent something like $50 million or something crazy to retrain all of their employees. Okay, well, I do enjoy myself some Moe's also, which I have not had that in quite a while because I can't even pretend that Moe's is healthy. It's just not. But yeah, it's definitely a hit the odd times that I do go. But yeah, I guess Mexican wouldn't really be a big thing in Hawaii, probably. Qdoba. Oh my gosh. So yeah, funny thing with Qdoba is like we've had them in the area and most of them have like closed. So technically we don't have them anymore either. I think they tried to walk that fine line between like Moe's and Chipotle and they didn't do it right. Honestly, I always kind of preferred I've always preferred Moe's to Qdoba, so probably not missing a lot there. Oh. Okay. I mean, I did enjoy it. Um, but yeah, I personally just liked Moe's better, but yeah, I was in Orlando when we had ours, and it's just one of the you just drive one of those things where you just sort of like drive by one day and you're like, oh man, this place closed. And like you haven't been in a long time, but you are kind of sad to see it go. But if it was your fave, I'm definitely sorry to hear that you lost yours, because that always sucks. Okay, now Spaghetti Factory I've literally never even heard of. Oh, we had like Noodles and Company, I think it was. Yeah. How a lot of these places go. There was another place that was like that. It was an Italian place too. I think. Like everyone raved about it, and I went like one time, and I felt like it was just kind of overpriced pasta. I don't know. I'm not like a big pasta person. I like it when it's done well, but that usually means cooking it at home for me. You're good. Yeah, my wife is actually Italian, so good pasta comes from home now. Oh, I didn't need to mine this much. Oh, oops. Okay, well, let's cancel that and go turn in what we have. I forgot that I could stop at 14 for this load. Not bad. That's alright. We'll get a leg up on the next trip in. Because we'll already have a little bit. We'll probably bounce, but we shouldn't bounce too far. Alright, trade items. Yes. Cool. And now, turn that in. Landing site enter. Cool. Back to the station for a quick drop off. and then we'll be back.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I feel that. I've definitely had. We try to do a lot of like gluten-free pastas, and we tried like this chickpea pasta once, and the cooking instructions on the bag were like just way off. So, like when it finished, it was essentially like 2 degrees shy of like a paste. It was not good. So I definitely feel that. That's not how you want your pasta to be usually. But I guess some people like it like that. More power to them, I suppose. But yeah, that would not be for me either, so I definitely hear you on that one. That's all right. Alright, we entered a mining site, so we can claim that. Now, activate the gate.
Warp drive active.
Go mine some ore. On ore, ice, ash. Still getting used to all that. Alright, approach. Probably drop this. We can probably stop that. We can lock this. And start the mining process. Now we can set up our escape route. And we should be good to just mine. Love it. And welcome back. Yeah, like I was saying though, I feel you on the mushy pasta and rice. Actually, I can't do either really. Definitely not my preference. I actually got pretty good at cooking rice when I was in and freshly out of college. So I'm a little bit pickier on the rice side of things. There's definitely certain consistencies that I'm not usually good with. And like when I go to Chinese restaurants and stuff, I'll get the Odan noodles and whatever instead of the fried rice, because like I've never had a fried rice that's as good as the one I make at home. And I know that's not a humble thing to say, but that's just kind of where it's at. So I usually don't get restaurant fried rice. I'll make it at home if I want it, typically. I mean, yeah, basically it's a staple food almost everywhere. And yeah, in the Asian countries in particular, like it's in everything. And honestly, I love it. So I'm on board with the 5 billion. Rice is good. And like it's actually relatively inexpensive. Like there's types of rice that you can get that are not super duper expensive, so yeah, it's relatively easy to prepare. It can be inexpensive, depends on what you're getting. And yeah, it's just good with minimal alterations. Like honestly, for me, I can just put soy sauce on it and I'm good. So yeah, it's if there was ever like a magic food that just did everything, it's probably pretty close. Yeah, exactly. I know in college I definitely had several periods that were heavy rice periods, and kind of stretched things out. And if I can afford it, I'll usually go for the jasmine rice because it's like really good. Because like the basic basmati and stuff, it's not bad either. Just something about the texture of the jasmine. It's like smoother, like almost butterier. Just the way it comes. So it's my preference if I have to, if I get a choice. Yeah, I never really considered where it came from necessarily. I probably should. Um, I probably should. And like a lot of our stuff comes from like Costco or Trader Joe's, relatively known stores, so you can usually find out where their stuff is coming from. So it might be a good thing to look up next time I get rice. It's been a minute since I made any myself. I'm on a shiki. Okay. I mean, I imagine being a lot closer to Japan, you guys probably get some considerably more authentic rice suppliers. At least I'd imagine. I mean, yeah, I've never really looked at the brands or anything, but okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Here we go. Yeah, those are a little rough on the tongue. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like for our grocery stores, basmati's like the most widely available variety of rice, and then jasmine is like the next level rice that you can get your hands on. But of course it is. Like so close to the source, and yet it comes from California. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Ugh. Man, sorry. Yeah, that's fair.
The asteroid is
Honestly, like, I kind of hate yard work, so any opportunity I have to take a rain check on yard work, I generally will. But yeah, that's just me. I know some people enjoy it, and like I actually find it calming and soothing and relaxing. Unfortunately, that has not been my experience, but I don't know, maybe someday I'll get used to it. Well, that's good. Yeah, I will say that the majority of the times I have done it, it's been to help out my parents. I'm a little bit taller than like what's average, so using a push mower, even if it's like propelled, I have to bend over a little bit further than a normal person would to hold on to the bar, and it just destroys my back. So I have an aversion. But yeah, it's, you gotta take care of your parents, so that's good. I'm 6'2". So it's not like too far above 6, thankfully. But it's enough that like a lot of normal surfaces feel kind of low to me. Like most tables feel kind of low. If I didn't have my chair all the way down, my desk would feel really low. Okay. That's really not a bad height, honestly, so. And I'm not complaining. Being tall has a lot of advantages. But yeah, it's got a couple sticking points, and I don't particularly love those parts of it, but yeah, overall it's being tall is a good experience, I feel like. Very rarely have to ask for help reaching anything in a store, so that's a plus. But yeah, there's a restaurant near us. I don't know if you guys have them in your area. It's called Panera. They're kind of all over, but I don't know. In our area, they're all over. I don't know how far they've spread nationally. But something about the one that's close to us, their tables just feel like so low. Like even my wife, who's like a normal height person, is like, yeah, these feel low. So I don't know why they made their tables absurdly low, but that's how they feel. Yeah, like I said, I think it's more of a regional thing right now. They're still kind of expanding. Um, I don't know how far they've expanded to. They're a little bit more on the pricey side. Probably like a mid-range, I'd say. Um, but they're pretty healthy, so it's honestly kind of worth it. They're the only place in town that knows how to make a freaking salad. I don't know what it is about salads that no one else seems to be able to comprehend, but like they can accomplish it and it's so good. And everywhere else just has like really gross lettuce and they have no concept of how to put ingredients together in a salad. Doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but I guess maybe it's more challenging for some reason. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. And the funny thing is, like, you can go to the store and get all the ingredients for a salad and put one together yourself at home, and it is never as good as a Panera salad, even if it's the exact same ingredients. And I just don't get that. But yeah, it's one of those things. They've really got those things locked down. I mean, yes, apparently. The funny thing is, like, I've literally worked at a Panera in the kitchen. I have made their salads, and I know there's like no secret ingredient to it or anything. It's just, but somehow they just come out better. I can't even explain it. It's got to be an ingredients thing. It's like they're very careful about where they source their ingredients from, and they make sure they're like all organic and like fresh and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, it shows. I'd say like sometimes with certain foods you can't really tell the difference necessarily, but yeah, something about the Panera stuff, like, you can really tell. Now, I think they underpay their employees. Like, if you look on their application sites, they won't tell you what they're offering to pay for the positions, which is usually not a good sign. But yeah, they do make really good food. Are any of those close enough that I could maybe... This one probably is. There we go.
The asteroid is depleted.
Alright, what do we have in the hold? So shy. Two units to go for this load. Yeah, I know I'm not close enough. Sorry. Finger slipped. Alright, what about now? Yeah, everything's too far away to grab. So let's set up our exit route. Technically the stream ends a minute ago. But I really want to like finish this little bit here. We need 15 points, and that's the one we're working on right now, so oh yes, thank you for the follow. Hey, that's my my 70 follower goal hit there, so appreciate that. All right. Yeah, for some reason I kind of thought you had already done that, but just one of those things, I guess. Falls through the cracks sometimes. But yeah, I do appreciate it. If I can get this last unit of ore, I can turn these in and really quickly get the last few we need to hit that next milestone. No, that's okay. These things are better when you have some interaction, so I do appreciate the company. There we go. Now let's head over to the ice processor. Drop off about 14 of these and come back and get 9 more, I think it is. I shouldn't need that anymore, and probably start stopping. Alright, turn those in. And let's grab the next closest ice chunk. So it kind of depends on what part of the quest line you're at. So this one's a repeating one. So you get 5 points for entering the mining site initially. Then you get another 10 points for mining the first 7 units of the ice, and then another 15 after you've dropped off 28 units of the ice with the ice processor. So the whole cycle gets you about 30 points. Yeah, a little bit, but you kind of get used to it and like sort of get into a rhythm. And once you do that, it's really not that bad. There we go. Alright, now I gotta remember, I only need to go to 14. And then we can cut it off, head to the ice processor, turn that in, and call it a night. Yeah, so this is just regular mining. It is all going into the mining holds on this ship. I could jet can if I wanted to, but I've found that that strategy is fairly risky, especially if you're doing it on your own. It's very easy for trolls and gankers and stuff to just come steal a piece of your ore and trigger a thing and then try to goad you into attacking them. So I don't really do a lot of that. One thing you could do if you wanted to try a strategy like that, as long as you have 50 to 100 cubic meters of cargo space in your miner, which I think all of them have at least 50, so you could use a mobile depot as, granted, a smaller can, but one that people can't get into and one that you don't have to anchor. So you just launch it, and it has, the basic one has 3,000 cubic meters of extra storage, and the Wet2 and the Yeti, I think, is the other one. They both have 4,000 cubic meters of cargo space, and like you can put anything in there. So a really cool way to basically do the giant secure container method, but you actually get more space for less of your cargo space. Yeah, it's definitely risky. And then the other nice thing about the mobile depots is people can attack them, but once they like go down, they go into a reinforcement mode for like several days or something crazy, where they're just completely invulnerable. And then after that period, they're no longer invulnerable, but like who's coming back a couple days later to keep attacking your mobile depot? So it's just a really good way to protect your stuff outside of your ship if you need to. They can be scanned down by combat probes though, so if you're like doing wormhole stuff, I wouldn't advise leaving one in your safe when you're going and doing other things, because then someone can scan down your safe and just kind of sit there and wait for you, which is not what you want. But yeah, a super cool thing I learned not that long ago is that wrecks don't show up on the combat scanners. So if you bookmark a site, but you don't leave like an MTU or a mobile depot or anything there, like it's just wrecks that are left behind, no one's going to be able to find that unless, like, there would have to be something for them to scan down there, like your ship or a mobile tractor unit or a mobile depot, or, you know, something for their probes to lock onto. So you can basically leave those there for as long as you want, and really no one's going to find them. They do despawn after a certain amount of time, but like no one can just scan down your wrecks, which is kind of cool. That's okay. It's like it's a whole thing. I have gotten very comfortable with it, but it definitely takes a certain amount of knowledge and getting used to certain things. Like when you're in J-Space, you see nothing on local, even if other people are there, unless they have talked in the local chat, and then they'll show up in the chat. But if they haven't talked in local, there's no way to know that they're there except by using your directional scanner. Or, you know, like actually running into them on grid somewhere. And because of that, a lot of people find it kind of like scary. I actually like it better because I feel like I'm more able to hide than I am even in high sec. Because like in high sec, someone can come in system and they can immediately see me on local if I'm in system. It doesn't matter if I'm docked or out doing something, like they can see that you're in the system. And JSpace is not like that. And yeah, basically, if you learn to use your bookmark system, navigating wormholes is not too complicated. Remembering to bookmark your exit is really the biggest thing. I've definitely done it a couple times on camera, forgetting to bookmark the exit, and then you have to scan it back down. And thankfully I was in an exploration ship with scan probes, so like it wasn't super hard to scan the exit back down, but it is annoying, and if someone else is in there with you and chasing you, it's a lot harder to find your way out if you forget to bookmark that. That's alright, I've only got 2 units of ice left to gather anyway. And then this site belongs to that other endurance, because I will be done for the night. Rav 386. And welcome back. Sorry, I wish there was a way for you guys to like still hear me while the ads were going. Like if they could just do them side by side or something. I know that defeats the purpose kind of, but anyway. Yeah,
The asteroid is depleted.
of course it is. I need one more unit of ice, and it's gonna it's not gonna be from that one, apparently. That's fair. Yeah, I know when I started this character, I was very much of the opinion that I was definitely not going into JSpace until I was Omega and could cloak. And I have been Omega long enough at periods to train up the cloaking skill, so when I am Omega I can cloak. But I'm Alpha right now, and I eventually just got used to the whole thing and was like, I'm just going this. So it's been fun. But yeah, remembering to bookmark your exit is really the biggest thing. I've messed that up on camera a couple times and off camera a couple times, and thankfully I was in an exploration ship so I could scan the exit back down, which is what you have to do if you don't do the bookmark. But yeah, if you do remember to bookmark it, it's pretty easy to navigate in there. And it's just getting used to the idea of like using your D-scan to see if anyone's around you. And a lot of you learn certain ship classes and what people typically use them for in those areas of space. And like you can never be super cautious, but like you'll see Heron and you'll be like, okay, so they're exploring, and then you'll see their scan probes on D-scan. You're like, they're definitely just exploring. They're not like hunting down anyone. But yeah, when you start seeing combat probes and like you'll see like a Tengu or something on your D-scan, you're like, okay, so they're hunting for explorers, and I should probably leave. Oh, we're at the ice we need. We don't need that last one. Don't give us that last one. Jeez. Almost forgot. Again. I mean, I would have just had it sitting there for next time, but I don't need it right now. Oh, thank you. I definitely appreciate having someone to chat with throughout the stream. So let's trade these in. That officially finishes that off. So let's go head back to the station and claim our reward en route. Which, yep, we now have the Mastodon Aurora Universalis skin. Right. I don't have this ship and probably won't for a very long time, if ever. But there you go. I have a skin for it if I ever do pilot it and want to use it. So yeah, I would enjoy that very much. I'll be back on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. again, doing some more EVE Online. So feel free to tune in then if you have the time. And if not, I'll be back on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course. And that'll be probably Minecraft on a multiplayer server. So if you're into that kind of thing, that's what we'll be up to. But alrighty, well, until next time, thank you for watching. And we'll see you again soon. But until then, play safe.